Hi, I'm Adrianne. I'm one of the yoga teachers here at La Coralina Island House. Today I'll be guiding your Yin Yoga practice. You may want to have a block just for a little bit of extra comfort for your practice, but all of our poses will be held close to the floor for around 3 minutes each. So grab a blanket if you'd like for your knees for a little bit of padding, a block if you need it for your practice, and we'll get started. So we'll just get seated and started in Sukhasana. So just go ahead and find a nice comfortable seat on your mat in your space. Maybe dimming the lights a little bit for your practice, wherever it is you're practicing with me. Just gently closing your eyes or just softening your gaze, just to take the time to arrive to your practice. And so we'll just take a deep inhale with the shoulders. We'll lift them up towards the ears. And as you exhale, just draw those shoulder blades together at the back and then gently draw them down, opening up through the front of the shoulders, and just let them pause there. Slight draw in the belly, just to support the spine. And just taking the time to check in, noticing how your body's feeling. It is not an active practice today. Nice, long, held, deep stretches in our Yin practice. It'll be a fairly silent class, not a lot of talking, giving you lots of time to tune out and turn in. And just take a moment to notice your thoughts. Are they present? Are they wandering? Is your mind jumping around off of your mat? It's okay if it wanders, just gently acknowledge, bring those thoughts back to your practice and letting those external thoughts go with the same ease as your breath. We'll take a few more rounds of breath here before we get started. And one more round of breath. So take a deep inhale here. And gently just bring your chin down towards your chest, just bowing in. And then gently picking up your head, blinking your eyes open. We'll get started in child's pose. So coming onto your mat, sideways, taking your knees nice and wide. If you'd like to take a blanket for your knees, you can go ahead and do so. And you can have your knees as wide or as narrow as you would like. Just really take the time to settle your hips into your mat. And then gently lowering down. And so for you, for your child's pose, if you would like to stay up on your forearms, you can go ahead and do so. If you would like to nestle in, fold in a little bit more, you can go ahead, let your head fall towards your mat. And you do have the option to leave the hands nice and long, fully relaxed, or if you would like a little bit more, for your shoulders, your triceps, you can go ahead and bring your hands into a prayer position and just let them fall behind your head. And so we hold these Yin postures for this practice for around 3 minutes, giving you plenty of time to settle in to the stillness of the Yin practice. And so I'll leave you to tune in for the next 3 minutes, resisting the urge to fidget and move, settling into that stillness and peace in your body and in your mind. You can always stay here a little longer if you need more time. If your hands were behind your head, go ahead and gently lower them to the mat. And then slowly sliding your hands back towards your shoulders, supporting your body as you come to seated. Just gently walking yourself up, walking your knees in toward the center, and just pausing there for a moment. Letting everything rebound just for a moment, letting your hands fall wherever they'd like to land. And then from here, we'll be coming into Sphinx pose. So coming onto your hands and your knees, just gently making your way onto your belly here. So gently lowering yourself down however you'd like to land. And so in our Sphinx pose, bringing those elbows underneath your shoulders, or bringing your hands just a little further away from you will offer less of a back bend. So no deep activity in the legs and in the glutes, just a slight tuck of the tailbone, just gentle pressure of your pelvis into the mat to help support. And you can have your hands interlaced if you would like. You can bring your block underneath your head, or you can simply just let your head rest on your hands, whatever feels good, whatever feels right for you. So go ahead and set yourself up however you'd like to land in your Sphinx pose. And find that stillness. So you can slightly tuck that chin in. Really close your eyes or just soften your gaze here. Just settling in to this asana, this posture in Sphinx. Resisting the urge to wiggle into the fingers, the toes. Find that stillness and that peace. Turning that attention inward. Focusing on the breath and that space between your eyebrows. And for the last minute or so of holding, you can stay, or you have the option to take that Sphinx pose up a little bit higher into seal pose. A little bit of a deeper back bend. Keep moving those shoulders away from the ears. This is just an option. Slight turn out of those hands will help support those wrists. Again, you don't have to take this deeper back bend. You can always stay in Sphinx, forearms down. And then gently, nice and slow, if you're up in that seal posture, just gently lower your forearms to the mat. And gently just roll your shoulders, your chest back and down, lowering toward the mat, and just pause with your forehead on your hands, just to let your body rebound. Maybe giving yourself a little bit of a wiggle side to side in the hips to help release into that low back, or just pausing in that stillness. And then gently, when you're ready, slowly making your way back up and just rolling onto one side, nice and slowly, coming up to that seated posture. So next posture, asana, we'll be in is caterpillar pose. So a seated forward fold. So go ahead and set yourself up on your mat. If you need a little bit of padding underneath your bum, you can go ahead and do so. And you can feel free to take your hands or your legs just a little bit wider than hip distance apart, or you can keep them close together. It's up to you. Let your feet be nice and loose. So just landing in that seated staff pose just for a moment. And then when you're ready, we go ahead and take caterpillar pose. So folding forward and then finding a comfortable depth of your fold here. So no flexion in the feet, just let them be as they are. You can round through the spine, let your head fall towards your legs, and we'll turn our palms to face up. So we take out any desire or want to use muscle control to get ourselves into that caterpillar pose. We never want to find that 100% max of our fold. We're looking for less, and we let gravity do the work the rest of the way. So letting all those fascia, the ligaments, the joints, the tendons loosen on their own as we hold these yin postures for a long time, letting gravity pull you a little deeper into the mat or into your legs, into yourself with each exhale. And if you wanted to take a block to your legs to help support your knees, or your head, sorry, you can go ahead and do so. And just letting yourself again tune out and turn in. have the option to always stay here as long as you'd like to be here. Or if you're ready to move, just gently start to walk your hands back, helping support that upper body as you slowly start to lift up. If your head was curled in, let it be the last thing to lift. So gently coming out of that fold, super slowly taking your time, and gently letting your head lift, either staying here in this seated position or helping those knees to come in and giving yourself a little hug. You can either stay there, head upright, or you can let your head fall in toward those knees just for a moment. And then when you're ready, gently picking your head up if it was folded in. And then we make our way into our tabletop position. So coming onto our hands and our knees. And we'll be making our way into sleeping swan. So same posture as pigeon pose, but in yin we call it sleeping swan or just swan. So if you normally are comfortable coming into this position from a downward facing dog, you can go ahead and do so. I'll be coming into it from a tabletop. So go ahead, if you're taking that leg long, coming into tabletop, go ahead and take it there, extending through that left leg, and then bend that left knee, bringing it in toward that left wrist. And then just walk that ankle out and up toward that wrist on the right side, whatever is comfortable for you. So making sure that there's no tension in that knee. Walking that right foot behind you just a little bit more and flexing into that left foot that's crossed. And so just leveling off your hips here. If you find that one hip is up super high or that you're folding in, take a block and support that glute on the side of the leg that's bent. And you do always have the option to stay here in swan, or you can go ahead and start to roll down, making your way toward your mat for sleeping swan. And pause wherever you feel any gripping in your hips, your glutes, your low back. Pause. There's no need to go all the way right off the bat. You can just stay in any position of sleeping swan that you would like. If you happen to feel any gripping on your way down, once it starts to release, then you may go ahead and start to deepen if you choose to. Moving with the breath, supporting your body, your practice, how you need. And again, finding that stillness in your swan or sleeping swan if you're folded in. Some of you may need a little more time here on this side. If you're ready to move out of Sleeping Swan, just gently start to walk yourself back up, taking your time. Gently making your way back up onto your hands. Just taking little rocks side to side with those legs, those hips, until you can get that leg back underneath you, back up onto your knees, just using that back foot to help walk that knee back in. So always slowly taking the time to come out of those postures that we've held for a long time, and then just go ahead and take some circles with that leg that was crossed in front. And then when you're ready, you take it to the second side. So extend through that right leg if you're coming into it from a tabletop position. If you're going into it from a down dog, you make your way there. So it's bringing that right knee forward, taking that rotation from the hip, not from the knee, letting that right knee come toward the top of the mat, and that right ankle toward that left wrist. Now, that foot does not need to be parallel with the top of the mat. You can bring it nice and close into the groin, but walk that knee out side of the hip so that you have nice and square hips as best as you can. Flexing into that right foot. And again, option is to stay here in swan, or you can go ahead and start to lower toward your mat for Sleeping Swan. And again, taking your time, finding comfort, but an edge in that pose. So not looking for 100%, looking for much less, maybe 60. Letting the long holds get you further. So always pausing where you feel any gripping, tension, energy that becomes stagnant as you move. Sending the breath, the attention to those areas, and then only when you feel that intensity lessen do we move further into that posture. So take your time. Again, you can spend as much time here as you would like. If you're ready to move out of your sleeping swan, just gently making your way back up to your forearms first if you were all the way down, folded in. And gently making your way up to your hands. And then giving your hips a little bit of a wiggle. Side to side until you can get that back knee underneath you. And tucking that right leg. So once you come into that tabletop position one more time, or that downward facing dog, just taking some circles with that leg. And then go the other way, however many you need. And then when you're ready, we make our way onto our seats for a twist. So our posture for today in our class will be twisted roots. So coming onto your back, you can bring a block close to you if you need some support for your legs as we come into this twist. And so just gently bending your knees, arriving to your back. Just taking the time to arrive on your back with your knees bent here so that your hands fall to the sides. And from here, we'll cross the left leg over top of the right. And so you can just let it stay there, maybe finding full twisted roots, but it's not necessary. Just let it cross. And then from here, just press into the right foot to lift those hips up and then pop them over toward the left side of your mat a little bit here. We'll take a deep inhale. And then as you exhale, we'll go ahead and let your knees fall toward the sides, toward the right side. Now you can choose where you take your hands, maybe keeping them in a T, maybe in a cactus, maybe up overhead. And you can let your gaze fall over toward your left side, or keep it neutral with your neck, your chin in the center, whatever feels right. In this twist, if this twist doesn't feel good to you with your legs crossed, you can always stack your legs, finding a different variation of the twist that does work for you. If your legs are not folded all the way to the mat, that's perfectly fine. You can take up a block and place it underneath just to help support those legs if they're lifted. ready to move out of this twist and your gaze is over your left shoulder, and go ahead, bring that chin back up first, that gaze up, and then gently untwisting, bring your hips back to center. Press into your right foot to recenter your hips, uncrossing the left leg. Just pause there for a moment, recentering yourself on the mat. Send your legs long. Just letting your spine rebound a little before we come to the other side. And then when you're ready, go ahead, rebend back into those knees. This time crossing the right leg over top of the left for twisted roots. You can take a full bind of that leg if you would like, or just take that single cross. Pressing into the left foot, move your hips over toward the right side of your mat a little. And then when you're ready, go ahead and let your legs fall toward your left. So breathing into that twist. I'm setting my timer here. Settling in and adjusting your shoulders as much as you need to here, knowing this side may be very different than the other. Letting your gaze fall wherever you'd like it to be, either up or turning your head to the side. If you're ready to move out of twisted roots, you can go ahead. The gaze is over the shoulder, gently bringing it back up toward the sky. And then slowly walking those feet in, untwisting, recentering your hips on the mat as you uncross your legs. Adjusting your body on your mat as much as you need to here. Maybe just taking your feet wide, letting your knees fall in towards each other. And then when you're ready, go ahead and send those legs nice and long. Taking your hands down towards your sides. Setting yourself up for Shavasana. So making sure that you have any supports, blankets, pillows that you may need to support your body for your final posture, the most important part of our practice. Finding those final few moments of stillness, peace. In Shavasana, we will be holding this Shavasana for 3 minutes, but longer is better. So if you stay long after I have moved, go ahead. Make your Shavasana as long as you'd like it to be. So if you're ready, just go ahead, start to soften through your forehead, your eyes, let them be heavy in their sockets. Soften through your jaw. Let your tongue fall away from the roof of the mouth and maybe slightly part your lips. Finding stillness in your fingers and your toes, getting out any last little bit of movements, adjustments, fidgets, before we settle in to complete stillness in Shavasana. Gently just bringing your awareness back to your mat. Just starting to wiggle your fingers and your toes if you're ready to move. But again, you're always welcome to stay as long as you would like in Shavasana. If you're ready to move, just gently bending into the knees, rolling onto one side, whichever side you prefer. Landing in that fetal position. Just pausing there for a moment. And cradling your head, supporting your body, just hugging in. And then when you're ready, gently pressing your way up to a comfortable seated position on your mat, taking your time to get there, to arrive in a seated position. And just noticing how your body's feeling now after that yin practice. We'll take a deep inhale as you reach your arms up overhead, bringing your palms together to touch. And as you exhale, bring it into your heart center, just a slight bow of the head here. Thank you for practicing with me. Hope you enjoyed the practice. Namaste.